In a rain-drenched Shadyside High School, we've got high school football. This is Dale Eddy along with the coach Jeff Stevens. And Jeff, tonight we've got Monroe Central traveling to Shadyside to take on the Tigers. And as of 2 years ago, this is another one of those rain-drenched evenings.
Well, you know, you never know how things are going to go when you get a night like this. The wind's blowing, the rain coming down rather hard. How the field will hold up. So not only are the Seminoles against the Tigers, but each team is having to combat against Fran. And so we'll have to see what happens.
I believe in the middle of the field, Monroe Central has just elected to receive. We're just minutes from getting this away. My first comment was 2 years ago when we were here, Coach, we were up on top in a very similar situation when the field conditions and the conditions were just not the greatest. That evening, I believe we had a freak visit from some lightning. Which postponed the game for maybe 20-30 minutes.
Right, the game was held up just a few minutes. You know, it was a beautiful night, and all of a sudden there come a crack of lightning, and they sent the teams off the field. You know, the delay was very short, but you know, hopefully nothing like that tonight. You know, the wind and the rain will be enough problems for the teams. We're ready for the kickoff, and number 14, Brad Lewis, and we'll hear that name quite a bit as the evening progresses, will kick off. Rob Trigg, along with Josh Jones and Will Weddle deep for the Seminoles. And as the night goes, I'm sure picking up names and associating them with numbers will be a very difficult task.
Be a little more challenging.
We'll do the best we can here, but Lewis is ready to kick, and we're underway. That's a good kick, driving Jones back to his own 3-yard line. Finally gets momentum going, gets to the 15, to the 20.
Got a little room.
And he'll be across the 25 near the 27-yard line. And that's where Monroe Central will take over 1st and 10. You know, as the night goes on here, the black Shadyside jerseys with the white numbers probably will hold up pretty well, but I'm afraid the white Seminole jerseys with the red numbers may not last a long time.
May not as well. The field looks amazingly in pretty good shape.
And I think it'll hold a decent amount of water, but it's already had quite a bit of rain during the course of the day. Seminoles are out in a slot formation to the right. First play from scrimmage with Eric Kramer. And he'll get a little delay option, and nothing going. He's hit there by number 51. That is Sean Stottlemyre.
Looked like there might have been a little confusion there. There's movement on the line for Shadyside, no one jumping off, and it just never seemed to develop on the offensive end for the Noles.
Next, number 67, Jared Zekas, 5'10", 270-pound junior. And on the play on the left defensive side for the Tigers.
Shadyside has some big boys up front as I think the smallest of the bunch is 200 pounds plus.
Loss of a yard, make it 2nd and 11. Same formation, slot I. Go the other direction, Kramer the keep. He'll try to get outside.
Got some blocking.
Step around a couple of tackles, but he'll be brought down on the far sideline by Lewis and Grinch. They'll put him out just past the 30 to the 31-yard line. 3rd down and 6. You know, turnovers, fumbles, that type of thing, a big factor in a game where the ball is going to be wet. And I know one of the concerns of the Seminoles was the fumbles of last week, 5 fumbles and 2 of them resulting in turnovers, and that was a dry night. So 3rd down and 6, Monroe Central. We get motion by Trigg back to the right side, pitch to Jones. He'll try to get outside and have nothing going. Barely the line of scrimmage. Grinch and Stottlemyre on the tackle. And 3 plays and out to the Tigers hold. And punting time.
Defensive job there by Shadyside. Looked like they had a blocker, but just didn't develop as they fought through the block. And so we're going to have...
Well, Shadyside coaching staff was able to see the game last week, the fact that they did not play until Saturday, so they may be able to come up with some defensive schemes, hopefully the same as which Coach Circosta was able to come up with by seeing Shadyside play on Saturday of last week. Kramer in punt formation. He gets it off. It's a short kick. It'll hit it up back and be covered at the 37-yard line.
Sean Hurley, number 22.
Hurley tried to make the play and it hit off his shoulder and was recovered by number 32, the other deep back, Gibbons. So the Tigers will take over at their own 37-yard line.
This will be a lot like last week with a very fine quarterback. Lewis, maybe one of the better quarterbacks in the area. We're playing his football next year, I guess, at WVU.
He has gave a verbal commitment to WVU. Last week against Caldwell, they threw the ball 29 times. And the fact that he's a big kid, 6'3", 205, the wet ball may not give him as much trouble as it would a smaller kid. So he'll be back to throw in the first play. He'll go out to number 32.
Good defense.
That's Gibbons.
And Trigg, number 24, out there along with Ludwig on the coverage.
It's a short pickup of,
good,
say, 3 yards.
Though. Looks like more, 4 possibly.
4 yards to the 40, just across the 40, near the 41-yard line. Call it 2nd down and 6, just across the 40-yard line. Again, 2 backs in the backfield, but receivers wide to each side. They'll run the ball, and that's the up back. That's Boback. He has running room. He's in the secondary and still on his feet. He's to the 40-yard line in Seminole territory. A 20-yard pickup. That's Chad Boback, number 40. And a first down for Shadyside. And deep into the secondary before he could be brought down. So the first down of the evening belongs to Shadyside.
Boback, number 40, is 6 foot, 190 pounds, and only a junior.
This time Shadyside will send 3 receivers wide to the right and leave a single running back. That's number 1, Grinch, behind their quarterback, Lewis. Lewis will drop. Again, short, caught by Zekas, and he's got about 7 yards before Weddle, and the others bring him down.
Slant pattern right in the middle of that zone, and good yardage for the first down. Looks like they're marking it 2nd and 3.
So a lot of pressure on the defense here. If anything, you want to try to hold, and get the ball to your offense, to control the ball on the ground and keep the ball away from Shadyside because they have quick strike possibilities. The backs are in the eye, and they'll give to the fullback. That's Boback, and he has very little running room right up the middle. A whole host of Seminoles there. We see Knowlton along with Shoemaker.
Possibly Hannes.
Not much going. 3rd down and about 3.
3, yeah.
We're inside 7.5 minutes in the time remaining in the first period. Shadyside 2 pass plays, 2 running plays on their first possession. Again, split backs in the backfield. They're going a straight dive. And
good
nothing
defense.
going. Weddle, Knowlton on the play. I believe Grinch was the ball carrier. Nowhere to go, and he's going to lose a couple yards back to the 30. Well, he'll get a spot. He's forward progress at about the 33, but still a loss of a yard. Bring up 4th down and a long 3. And from this position on the field, the 33-yard line, Shadyside will go for it and send 3 receivers, Boback, Gibbons, and Perzanowski wide to the right. 4th down, 3. Lewis drops to throw. He gets some pressure, and it's a sack. That's John Shoemaker, number 44. John Shoemaker with the great pressure. He'll come up with the sack. That'll be a loss of 9 yards, and the Seminole defense,
more importantly, is holding.
The Seminole defense rises to the occasion and stops Shadyside after the Tigers were able to put together 3 or 4 plays with a little bit of positive yardage. But a big play right there by Shoemaker. Great job by the sophomore, putting good pressure on. That's going to be a key. So Seminole's back in business. We'll try to go through the personnel maybe here real quick, in between plays. But Kramer's the quarterback, and we get some motion, and we have movement all over the place. Jones and Trigg moving, and our linemen move.
Flags moving everywhere.
And that's not good. Well, to do that real quick on the line, number 74, Denny Knowlton is the center. 77, Chris Demmerling, and 66, Jamie Boer are the guards. 70, Tom Jones, and 72, Sam Hannis, the tackles. 44, John Shoemaker at one end. And the backfield, along with the quarterback Kramer, is 34, Weddle, 24, Trigg, and 21, Jones. And alternating at the split end position will be 85, Justin Friday, and 88, Jesse Nippert. We've got a timeout, Monroe Central. The timeout there may result a little bit from just a little bit of confusion. You had people moving all over the place. A little bit of different formation with kind of a double wing set, and both wing people started in motion. And my guess is one of them
off the line.
One of them was right, and one of them was wrong.
That's a pretty good assumption.
So
Shadyside put together a pretty good drive, and it just stalled there on a beautiful defensive play by young Shoemaker as he really fired through and caught Lewis behind the line.
And even prior to that, to set up the situation, a pretty good job by the interior of the defensive line to create the fourth down situation.
You can see the rain. I don't know if you can see it on the screen there or not, but just coming down in sheets.
And I think, in this kind of conditions, you want to try to get on the board and get a lead and make the other guy play catch-up. A lot easier said than done.
Yeah.
So first and 15. We'll get the same formation, and I'm sure we've got the motion straightened out now as Jones goes in motion to his left. And he'll give the up back to Weddle. And the ball is loose, but I think it's whistled dead, and it is.
Yeah.
Fumbles were a problem last week. And, with wet football, fumbles are going to be a part of the game tonight. But the ball was whistled dead. There was no fumble. Pickup of about 3 yards for Weddle. Make it second, and let's call it 12. Less than 5 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the first period.
Number 67, Jared Zekris on the stop. He's 5'10", 270 pounds. Take a lot to move him out of the way.
We give to Jones.
Jones again.
He's tripped up
Gibbons,
by,
I believe, 32.
Someone there on the Shadyside. Couldn't tell for sure, but they had a shoestring. Jones able to get only a yard or two. That's called third down and 11. We see that John Cecil had been in on that play at the end position. And he now leaves in favor of Nippert with the play.
Nippert, a freshman, as he gets ample time at that end position.
Third and 11, possibly shot of the first pass of the evening from Monroe Central. Kramer drops. It'll be a draw play. And Jones has a little bit of running room. He'll be brought down at the 46-yard line. He's still well short of a first down. And once again, Seminoles unable to pick up a first down and will have to punt the ball away. 4th and 6. The ball at the 46-yard line. Kramer to punt. And deep is number 22, Hurley, and number 32, Gibbons. Good snap back to Kramer, and he gets the kick away. It's a nice kick. They're going to let it hit, and it'll get into the end zone. Where was that wind when you needed it?
Yes.
But the ball goes into the end zone. That's still from scrimmage. That's a 54-yard punt, but a 34-yard net as the Tigers will bring the ball out to the 20-yard line to start their second series with 4 minutes and 1 second remaining in the first period. From our vantage point here, it's a little hard to see the scoreboard. We're kind of having to bend around and crouch and everything to get our angle on the scoreboard.
We are inside, Coach, so we'll
I'm not going to complain at all. A lot of people watching, I'm sure, that's probably saying some nasty things right now now they know that we were inside. 4 receivers right, and Lewis rolls right. And he wants to throw a shorty to Gibbons. He steps away from a tackle and another tackle as big yardage out near the 40-yard line.
Like Trigg finally upends him.
And Lewis up very slowly and limping. And I'm not sure, I didn't see if he took a hit or what happened there. But Lewis, very, very gimpy now as he walks back to the huddle.
In fact, we have somebody going out to check.
And we're going to get a timeout, Shadyside, as they may go out now mainly to check on Lewis and see if he is all right.
Jackson's Newsstand has something for everyone in your family. They carry a huge selection of balloons, gifts, and cards for all occasions, even personalized cards from Woodsfield. And it's time for school supplies and jigsaw puzzles, paperbacks, magazines, and of course videos. Enjoy one-stop shopping at Jackson's and save money too. Money orders are only 66 cents and delicious cappuccino just 69 cents. Pick up some groceries, sundries, lottery tickets, and jewelry. Services include UPS, Western Union, and copies. Jackson's Newsstand, much more than a convenience store.
We are back now. They used that timeout, Tigers, to check on their quarterback, Lewis, and he appears to be all right. He's still a little bit limping as he walks up to the line of scrimmage, but he's right there and ready to go. 1st and 10, Shadyside after that 19-yard pickup. They're at their own 39-yard line. And he'll give the ball to Boback. And nothing going. That is Hannes along with Knowlton. Shoemaker and Weddle also there. And, a yard by Boback. Make it 2nd and 9.
Still at 3:24 remaining in the first quarter. This game definitely going faster than the Magnolia game last year.
But it has the potential to slow down immensely though as we go. Lewis drops the throw. He has some pressure and the ball's dropped.
Fingertips.
And that's what's going to happen with the wet football. The intended receiver was number 22, the tight end, Sean Hurley, and had it on his fingertips, but it just slipped away. 3rd and 9. And had some decent pressure. Looked like the linebackers were blitzing on that play, putting in a little bit extra pressure. And that's something I think Coach Singleton will go to as the night goes on and pick his spots to send some pressure and try to get some extra heat on and force Lewis to throw the ball quickly. If you can get a hit on him early, and which we have done a couple of times, it may force him to unload a little bit quicker.
Get rid of the ball just a little quicker.
At least we hope. Split in to the left, flanker to the right. Backs are split. Lewis drops straight back to throw. He's going to throw it. It's going to be tipped and incomplete. Trigg was the defender on number 32, Gibbons, I believe. And
I thought the ball might drop down in Gibbons' hands as it popped loose. So defense again.
Punting situation for the Tigers. Number 32, Gibbons will go back. And deep is Kramer and Jones. I think the Tigers picked up a half a yard on that incompletion as they spot the ball near the 40-yard line. Snap is very high and wobbly. There's a flag down, 2 flags down. The kick is short and fair caught by Kramer. And we have 2 flags on the play. So we'll wait until the officials sort this out. A flag on the far side from the line judge. And then the head referee in the backfield also throwing a flag. Illegal procedure. And that'll be 4th down again. And I think Monroe Central may choose to make them kick the ball again. And if that's an example of the kind of snap that's going to get back to center, we could see the block put on, or at least a little bit of pressure, on that. It's not a very good snap. Good chance that ball just slipped out of the center's hands as he tried to snap it.
Yeah, any kind of exchange of the ball, will be hazardous this evening.
So they'll get a drive ball in and put the ball back at the 35-yard line.
Still just under 3 minutes.
That looks like about a first quarter. That looks like about a 4.5-yard penalty from where the ball was previously. And again, the snap a little bit weak and some pressure on, and it's a short kick over near the sideline. It's going to hit and take a nice roll for the Tigers and go out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
I thought we might get a more favorable bounce there, but we didn't. As they really got kind of fortunate on that, as they got the ball would be placed.
They played the slope there and got the nice roll out of bounds, and that ends up being about a 32-yard kick with no return, and you'll take that at any time. So the Seminoles, 3rd time without a first down, 2:45 remaining in the first period. Again, we have both ends tight and a wing to the left. And And they'll give the ball on the dive play to Trigg. Or they'll take that back. Yes, look at Rob Trigg.
Rob Trigg, yes.
And he'll get about 3 yards, maybe 4. It's about the 37-yard line. John Cecil, I believe, in again with the play. Again, double tight ends. And the back's in the wishbone. Or make that the power eye this time. The back's in the power eye. And they'll give the ball to Jones. And he'll get a couple, 3 yards.
There. Again.
41-yard line be brought down. And number 70, and Matt Jarrett, one of the tacklers, and he had some help. So 3rd down and call it 3.
Long 3.
1:45 remaining in the first period. Seminoles are without a first down. This being their 3rd possession. But this is the first time they've really had a short yardage 3rd down situation. We'll see what happens with a slot to the left. Defensive backup very tight on the split end. Kramer wants to keep. He will have the first down. Be at midfield.
Across the number 22.
Grinch.
John Hurley and Grinch.
Grinch on the tackle along with Hurley. But the option to the left. Kind of interesting formation there defensively by Shadyside. Justin Friday was split wide to the left, and the defensive back on that side was right up in his face at the line of scrimmage. So we'll see how the Tigers play that in the future. Jones will be on the wing to the right.
We're just around the 1 minute mark remaining in the first quarter.
Leaving Trigg and Weddle in the backfield behind Kramer. And we'll throw.
Pass.
Kramer steps aside. He'll run the ball. And cut out
some yardage. First
40,
down.
35, 34-yard line first down before he's brought down by Perzanowski. And as we saw last week against Magnolia, that's a weapon the teams right now this early in the season may not know for sure how to defend.
They'll soon learn.
And, until you have a chance to do a little bit of scouting and learn some tendencies, and hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of that. We're inside 45 seconds remaining. First down, Monroe Central. Wing formation to the left, and not
Nothing
much.
Going.
That's
Weddle.
He's going to be hitting the backfield and will probably lose a couple of yards inside 20 seconds, so that may very well be the final play of the first period.
Stottlemyre, I believe, on the stop for the Tigers.
But the clock is going to run out, and we have played 1 period in here at Fleming Field in Shadyside. Monroe Central and Shadyside are scoreless.
As always, Woodsfield True Value has lots of things on sale for fall cleanup. Stop in today to check out the bargains. While you're there, see their new display of kitchen and bath cabinetry, vanities, sinks, and countertops. Save up to 65% off the suggested list price of selected styles of cabinets. Choose from white laminate, oak, hickory, cherry, or maple wood, and choose from a variety of styles and materials in vanities and countertops. At Woodsfield True Value, help with your new kitchen or bath is just around the corner. Traveling hundreds of miles for physical, occupational, or speech therapy can be emotionally and physically draining and very costly. That's why Woodsfield Nursing and Rehabilitation Center now offers outpatient and inpatient therapy for all ages. Sports injuries may occur in any sport, and our licensed therapists are here 5 days a week. Occupational therapy is available to the elderly and to victims of work and auto accidents or trauma. Therapists work with a variety of ages and circumstances. If you or someone you love need help, call today.
A good football team works together, helping each other to do their best.
A good insurance company works together too, showing you the best coverage for you and your family.
A winning football team shares the glory. The running back needs those blockers to make that long run to the end zone.
A winning insurance agency represents several companies, so you have personally designed coverage to take you wherever you need to go.
The Monroe Central Seminoles have a winning tradition.
And F.W. Shoemaker has a winning tradition of service, integrity, and customer satisfaction.
2 local traditions that keep on going.
back to begin period number 2 of a scoreless game. Second down 12, Monroe Central. Pitch to Jones to the right side. He'll look to cut up and again have very little running room as he gets
trying to get back up on his feet.
Maybe near the original line of scrimmage. As I look during that timeout between periods there, Dale, I have a feeling there could be a lot of people sitting at home on this Saturday morning watching us on TV who do not make the trip up here this evening. So maybe the ratings are up.
We'll have to check the ratings this morning.
I also know that the players that are not seeing the game as we speak, as they are on their way to Ohio State to watch the Ohio State-Rice game today.
Well, that'll be interesting. Hopefully they have nice weather there, unlike this.
There's a formation we saw last week that I'm sure a lot of people didn't pick up. Kramer takes the snap. He's going to throw a screen back to Shoemaker. And nothing going. Number 32, Gibbons made the play for a loss. And that may bring up another punt formation. I'm not real up on all the formations and everything there, and it slid by me last week, but that may have been the single wing formation that Coach just spoke about the other night. To me, who doesn't know a lot of what's going on, it looks a lot like the shotgun.
You got the mic, you call it what you want.
39-yard line, we'll call it then. Fourth and quite a few. Kramer to punt. Last one sailed into the end zone. High snap, no pressure. He'll kind of pooch it down and be caught and bobbled. And not much going and covered by a lot of people down there. Jones, Boer, down there initially was a couple others who I can't pick up the numbers on from this angle, but looked a little bit indecision there whether to catch the ball or let it go. He made the choice to catch it and then dropped it, and by the time he picked it up, he didn't have much help.
He didn't have much to do, yes.
And that was
they're going to have poor field position here. They're back at the
somewhere in the neighborhood of the 11-yard line, I believe. And we have a stoppage of play as Shadyside will spend a timeout. That is their second timeout that they have spent in the first half. 10 minutes, 22 seconds remaining.
The Shadyside Athletic Department would like to thank Capitol Music Hall and Jeffrey.
This is very much a what I want to say, spectators' night for football. The crowd is not as bigger maybe than I thought it would be, coming all the way with a monsoon of a kind of storm.
Over the years, the last couple of years, of course, the Monroe Central Shadyside matchup, and before that, the Woodsfield Shadyside matchup was always a very large draw, whether it was in here or at Woodsfield, and just because of the conditions, a lot of people are not here, and
it's a shame.
You can't blame them.
No, you can't. It's one thing you can't predict or control is the weather. Shadyside will start with 10-22, first and 10 deep. They have a little better position than I thought. I thought the boys were a little farther back than that, but
this is a situation
from this angle.
Situation where if you can come up with a turnover or 3 plays and out and force a punt, 4 people split out to the right. Lewis will sprint that way, and he'll look to throw, and he'll throw deep, and a lot of people down there.
Look like John. No, that's
Trigg and Nippert, and the intended receiver number 22, Hurley. So Shadyside going for the big play with their back against the wall, and it didn't work out. Second down and 10.
Not a lot of pressure on Lewis this time. I'd be anxious to see if he drops back to pass again what we send.
Number 24, Perzanowski in at the receiver's position on this second and 10 as we get 3 receivers wide to the left and 1 to the right. And a wave of the hand by the man over here to the right. That could be some type of a check off. Lewis is going to keep it. And not much going there.
Much there.
That's Boer and Jones, it appears, on the tackle.
Jamie Boer on the tackle.
We get number 5, Zekas, in with the play now as he's alternating with Perzanowski.
Looks like
we're going to be third and long.
8, 3rd and 9 they have on the board.
I was just looking down here at the Shadyside side of the field, trying to see what was, going on there as far as their people. And it's really everybody in the raincoat, and it's really hard to see what's going on there. Third, and that's a long 8. Single back in the backfield, or to make that split backs. Some pressure from the backside. Boer, that's complete and dropped. Wide open over there was number 5, Zekas. Trigg was the nearest defender. The ball off his shoulder pads and down. And the defensive end on this left side, Boer, put some pressure on and may have gotten a hit on Lewis as he delivered the ball. So 3 plays and out and a gain of only a couple yards. So the Tigers will have to punt. And remember the snaps previously, the very high fluttering snaps. And I think the block is on as 10 Seminoles are up within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Jones is the lone setback. Monroe Central is going to go for the block. That's a little bit better snap, and we're going to get a roughing the kicker call as Kramer went for the ball and did not get it. The ball rolls dead at about the 45-yard line, and we'll see how the call is there. As we anticipated, the block was on, and Kramer went for it and did not get the ball and come up with the punter, Lewis. The flag went down, and have to say it was a good call. The only thing was that Kramer kind of must have thought he may have tipped the ball, and if he does tip the ball, that's allowed to be done. So they'll come back to the line of scrimmage and mark off the penalty from there. And a personal foul for running into the kicker. And in high school football, I believe that is a 15-yard penalty regardless. It's not the 5-yard and 15-yard choice that you see at the professional level. So that'll get Shadyside out of the hole, give them first down as we put the ball down at about the 27-yard line.
And New Life with 4 downs.
And that may be the
good position here.
That's the first break of the evening, and that goes to Shadyside. They send 3 receivers to the right.
We're at the 9-minute mark in this first half. Still 0-0 score.
Long snap count, Lewis to throw. He's going back to the weak side, and it's intercepted. Eric Kramer. The ball floated up a long time. It was intended, I believe, for Sean Hurley. The ball just kind of floated up there, and Kramer makes the play. Eric Kramer playing that weak side corner that he did such a great job at as a freshman. And, he's a good one-on-one coverage man, and he proved it there. The ball floated up there, interception. That's the first interception of the season for the Seminole secondary. I'm sure Coach Dave Sherman is keeping track of that. And as Shadyside just received a break, now the Seminoles.
Will.
And a bigger break.
Goes from the doghouse to the penthouse.
Yes.
He's back in charge.
That's a great way to make a mistake and then come right back and make something good happen. Best field position for the Seminoles thus far. Kramer running room on the option. He has running room, and he's going to be caught from behind.
I believe that was number 51, Stottlemyre.
He was trying to put a move on the safety, Lewis, and Stottlemyre from his left defensive end caught him from behind, but not until Eric Kramer has picked up yardage to the 35-yard line. That's about a 17-yard pickup. And the option, and nobody on the quarterback. Eric just turned it upfield and had running room. So definitely the best field position of the evening for Monroe Central. Slot formation to the left. And they'll give to the first back, Weddle. And he keeps the feet going, and he'll get a yard or two. He was hitting the backfield by Matt Jarrett.
Number 70.
240-pound defensive tackle.
Mike McVeigh and Matt Jarrett.
McVeigh also in on the play. Give Will a couple on the play. Second down, let's say 8.
Second down and 8.
With 7 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the half.
The 33-yard line. I formation in the backfield once again. And the option again, Kramer to keep it up quick. He's going to be caught after a pickup of inside the 30. Looked like Bobeck had a hold of him. Third down and a good 3.
Mike Parker, number 53, checking in. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, so
we see Justin Friday in for the Seminoles. He'll be split left, alternating with Nippert and Cecil tonight with the plays. Now 3-man rotation. Wishbone formation. Second back, Jones. He hurdles some people on the ground. He's going to be near the 20-yard line, and it appears to be good enough for the first down.
First down looks.
Bobeck again on the tackle, I believe, for Shadyside.
Second effort there for Josh. Made that first down possible. First down, and it's 6 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in this first half. It'd be good to put a score on before the halftime for the Noles.
Looks to be about the 22-yard line. Couple of first downs on a nice drive after the interception by Kramer. Power eye in the backfield. Tailback Jones. The ball may have been loose, and I think the Seminoles are back on it.
Josh Jones on the carry.
And I can't tell who was able to get on that ball. It's going to be a loss of a couple of yards.
Seminole football.
And did you see, Dale, who was on the fumble?
I had no idea.
Not able if Jones was, couldn't see if Jones was able to get the ball back or if it was recovered by a teammate, but it is still Monroe Central's ball, second and about 11. Jones in motion. Fake the Weddle. Kramer to keep, tries to get outside, and he does. He's up the sideline, brought out of bounds, and depending on where he went out of bounds, he may have the first down.
It looks like the marking looks like a first down marking.
And that's very near the 10-yard line. The rain has kind of washed the paint marks away from the field. It's becoming a little bit difficult to see the yard line.
Down.
And it is a first down, and the ball, again, just inside the 10, it appears. Maybe closer to the 8-yard line, but it is first and goal. First and goal, Monroe Central.
Nippert back in the ball game. Wide on this side.
Second back, Jones. He's in the end zone.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Monroe Central. It's 5 minutes, 44 seconds remaining in period number 2. Monroe Central draws first blood and a 6-0 lead after the turnover.
Josh Jones showing that great speed as he hit that hole, squirting through. Touchdown, and we'll go for the Tovar extra point.
Dan Cole out of an Eric Kramer hold. Snap is a little low. Kramer gets it down, and it appeared to be wide to the right, and it was just wide right.
Those are the kind of things this kind of weather affects.
So 5:44 on the clock in the first half. Monroe Central 6, Shadyside 0.
You've known that Woodsfield Ashland sells 100% pure gasoline, diesel fuel, and kerosene. And you know about the 27 flavors of Kirk's ice cream and that you could call ahead to order great pizza to eat before or after the game. And last year we told you about those fabulous hamburgers cooked in just 45 seconds and about Southern shaved ice in lots of flavors. But now they serve French fries, onion rings, cheese sticks, pizza by the slice, and lots more in a hot air oven. No deep frying. It tastes so good. Don't tell the kids it's healthy. Hungry? Call Ashland. They're open till 11:30 Monday through Saturday till 10 on Sunday.
Well, Coach, we're on the board finally, 5:44, 6-0. And it's I don't know if it's clearing up or not, or whether I'm just getting used to the rain, but it looks a little better out there.
Hurley and Gibbons are deep. Will Weddle to kick. And it'll hit, and up back Zekas will bobble it.
Picking it up.
And he'll be hit. Jones and Ritchie, number 62, Adam Ritchie, senior, transfer in from River, special teams player, now a senior.
6 foot, 174 pounds.
But very good speed and does a nice job on that play. And makes the play along with Jones of the short kick. And it's inside the 30 at about the 28-yard line. And as we've said many times in previous years, anytime you can cover a kick and down a team inside their own 30, your coverage is pretty good. So now down 6, we'll see what the Tigers and Brad Lewis at their quarterback position will do. He's going to drop the throw. No surprise there. Some pressure from Boer, but complete to Gibbons in front of the defensive back. That was Trigg. But complete and a first down for the Tigers. But a little bit of pressure on Boer, and we've been real close a couple of times, so that'll be something to watch as the evening progresses. That's out to the 39-yard line. Again, the basic 5-man front from the Seminoles defensively. 3 receivers for Shadyside to the left. Grinch is a single back behind the quarterback, Lewis, who will roll out and get some pressure and step away and be hit and out of bounds.
Kramer along with Jones.
The Shadyside faithful and the coaching staff looking for a late hit down there, which did not come. But Lewis, being a big kid that he is at 6'3" and 205, able to step away for some good pressure. And once he stepped away from it, there was nobody there. And I say Jones from his linebacker position, and Kramer, I believe, come up and made the play out of bounds. It's second and 7 after a pickup of 3 yards. The ball at the 43-yard line of Shadyside. You hate to see a chance for a sack to go by and not, get a loss, but good job by Lewis stepping away from the pressure. He'll throw again.
He'll drop again.
And again, get some pressure.
Underneath,
and it was short, and it hit Will Weddle about the ankles, so not the kind of play that's exactly easy to make. Even though I'm sure Will's a little bit disgusted that he did not come up with the play, but it would have been a great interception if he had. But again, some pressure from the far side, which would be the right side of the Seminole defense. And the end on that side is Shoemaker, and the tackle on that side is Hannes. And they kind of pushed some people back into the quarterback, and Lewis may have had to unload that ball a little bit quicker than what he wanted.
That he had unloaded with the intention of being down.
3rd and 7, Seminoles will use a 4-man front as Shoemaker will drop back to a linebacker position.
4:50 remaining in this half.
Shoemaker steps back up at the end now. He'll put some pressure on. He'll go across the middle. And it's complete to Hurley.
Hurley, number 22.
He'll have a first down.
As Shoemaker was coming.
Nippert and Jones on the tackle, but it's a first down, Shadyside, and a big 3rd down conversion.
Lewis unloaded that quickly. And for number 22, Hurley picking up first down.
45-yard line in Monroe Central territory. First down. Clock running now at 4:40 remaining. Again, 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Single back is Grinch. And there's movement. And both wide receivers to the right side moved early. That's Bobeck and Zekas. And that'll cost Shadyside 5 yards. A very disgusted look down the sideline here below us from Coach Grinch and the Tigers.
Perzanowski checking in, number 24. After the penalty.
5 yards.
So back to the 50-yard line now, 1st and 15. A lot of the play calling for Shadyside does not come from the head coach, as Coach Grinch is more of the defensive coordinator, and Coach Kapolka calls most of the plays for the Tigers. They send a receiver out here, number 32, Gibbons, near the sideline to the right, and have some man wide left. Lewis drops straight back, goes across the middle for Hurley, and it's intercepted.
Nippert.
Off of Hurley's hands, the intended receiver, Jesse Nippert.
Jesse Nippert, freshman.
And the coaches speak well of Nippert. As soon as he gets some game experience, I think he's going to do a great job there. He breaks on the ball from that safety position well, and he was the man on the spot there.
5'11", 140-pound freshman.
First varsity interception for Nippert, and Shadyside's drive is stopped.
And that's 3 minutes 52 seconds remaining in this half.
One problem that Lewis has had over the last couple of years was some great offensive stats, completions, touchdowns, yardage, and that. He has more interceptions in his career than he does touchdowns, and 2 interceptions by the Seminole secondary tonight. Jones is the second back. Again, not much going there, a couple of yards maybe.
Stottlemyre.
That big defensive front of
several other.
Big defensive front of Shadyside there. And
they're hard to move out of the way.
Hard to move out of there.
See how, as the evening wears on, how that changes, whether it's to their favor or ours.
The footing's a little slick. It's a little hard for the offensive people to get a lot of traction out there and move people around. But
hopefully they're big and they'll get tired.
As we near halftime, this to me, it appears this field is held up remarkably well. We're going to get a timeout by Monroe Central with 3:18 remaining in the first half. That is their second timeout of the half.
$95. Lucky orange ticket, 3-8.
After the timeout by Monroe Central, they have one remaining. It's Monroe Central's ball on the 43-yard line. It's 2nd and 8. Wishbone formation to the right. And Kramer will keep after the fakes. He'll break into the open. He's got a first down. And he'll be upended at the 45-yard line in Shadyside territory.
That has been a good play this evening for the Knowles, picking up good yardage again, first down plus.
Very similar situation to last week on the drive at the end of the game. And now we're at the end of the first half. As the Seminoles try to get down and get some points now at the 3-minute mark and the time remaining before half. That's the 44-yard line in Shadyside territory. Second back, Jones, again, 3 or 4 yards at best. He's brought down by Perzanowski.
Josh Jones, the ball carrier. Stopped by Mike Perzanowski and Chad Bobek.
About the 42-yard line now. It's a couple of yards on the play for the Seminoles.
We're at the 2-minute and 20-second remaining in this half. 6-0 score in favor of the Knowles.
Kramer, option down the left. He'll keep it again.
Steps it back, and he slipped.
Close to a first down. We have a late flag. So hold on. Let's see what we've got here. Play was over. Very late flag from the back judge. Shadyside people clapping their hands and a clipping call at the tail end of the play against Monroe Central. That's
I guess
what could have been.
To see that, huh?
Well, it could have been a 3rd down and 3. We'll now back it up. See what we come up with here on the clipping. We'll replay 2nd down, but that'll back things up to the 50-yard line. And it'll be right on the 50-yard line, I think, is where they're going to put it down as the official tries to hold on there. The clock's winding. I think it may be raining a little harder now than it was earlier.
Yeah, I believe so.
The clock is running at just inside 2 minutes. 2nd down and about 16. Kramer to throw. He gets it off and it's intercepted. That's Zekas. He's got running room up the sideline. It'll finally be dropped over there by Kramer and others. The ball's loose, but I believe that's out of bounds over there.
Looked like Sam Hannis possibly on the stop. Big play there with just over 1:35.
I think Kramer come up and put a big forearm hit on, and you got to be careful there. The penalty could be called on a shot there that's very near the head. But Zekas intercepts it, and
somebody down on the far side for
Shadyside is set up in good shape now at 1:35 remaining and one timeout.
The injured ball player, Sam Hannis, as he put the pop one out of bounds there and slow to get up, being helped off the sideline.
Shadyside with one timeout left now at
35.
At the 23-yard line, it looks like. They sent 3 receivers down. Big test now for the Seminole defense. Lewis wants to throw. He gets the pressure. He's going to be sacked. Boer and Demmerling made the play. And that's what you would call a coverage sack there, because Lewis had plenty of time to throw the ball but had nowhere to go. And Demmerling putting some good pressure on from behind made the play. Clock continuing to run now, 1:14 remaining.
Clock being as big a thing right now as anything. If they can put good defense up, hold off till halftime.
Loss of about 5 yards on that big sack by Demmerling. Everybody up tight now for the Seminoles, daring him to throw. They'll put some pressure on again. Lewis who's across the middle.
Over the middle.
Tipped. Trigg may have had a hand on it. The intended receiver also, 32, Gibbons, may have had a hand on it, but it's incomplete.
Trigg stepping in front there, doing a good job. Ball a little bit high, off the fingertips.
51 seconds remaining. So third down and long now by the Tigers. Third and long, Lewis. He drops to throw once again. He's going deep down the sideline. The ball's tipped around and incomplete.
Ball's on the ground, I believe.
Nippert.
Hurley, I believe, 22.
Hurley's their intended receiver.
Ball tipped around, and Hurley thought he had it. It was on the grass.
Ball kind of hung up there a long time. Be fourth down. Number 70, Tom Jones, is in defensively. They're taking the place of Hannes. So fourth down with
44 seconds.
And timeout by Shadyside. That should be their final timeout. And even with all this extra timeouts here, we're still under an hour. So with all the passing and everything, you know, we're doing pretty good compared to that 2-hour and 40-minute game we had last week.
A couple big things coming up here. Next week is a TV game for the Knowles, the River game. Channel 9 will have that game, and of course we're still looking for advertisers in the Monroe County area who would like to support I think we need to know that possibly by Monday, so if anyone would want to advertise on TV 9 for that game, give us a call. Joe and I will either one set you up in that, but that's a big deal. River is a game, I don't know when the last time we played River, 1973, the year someone graduated, possibly. I know one, my wife, but I don't know about it. Rick?
I came along a couple years later.
Jeff was just a pup at the time. But that's always a big game, and we hope we get a lot of advertisers and TV 9 be down. Big crowd for that one.
Fourth down and 15 for the Tigers. This is their last effort before the half. Lewis throws down the middle, overthrows. Zekas was behind some people, but not able to get there. Incomplete. About time for Lewis to throw. He not able to hook up with his receiver, so Monroe Central will take over now. First down, 38 seconds remaining. Yeah, nice job to stand back there when you know they're going to throw and throw and throw, and you know, so far so good with the secondary. You know, unless something unusual happens here, Seminoles will be able to get in at halftime here with a 6-0 lead. But I'm sure nothing too fancy. Number 68, Tucker Roberts, in a tackle, and Hannes is placed there. Nothing too fancy. The backs are in a straight tee back there. They won't even risk a handoff. Kramer run a sneak.
Straight up.
And that's your basic 9-yard gain on a quarterback sneak.
Quarterback sneak for 9.
But you know, I don't think in the conditions that the Seminoles will use that last timeout that they have remaining, they'll just let it run down as we're inside 25 seconds as the ball's put ready for play, and there's no need to even run a play.
Tucker Roberts, who checked in, number 68, is a sophomore, 5'10", 210 pounds. A nice-looking young man.
Those Seminoles are back up to the line of scrimmage. I think Kramer just got the word from the sideline that running a play is not necessary. It's halftime, and the Seminoles lead this one at 6-0.
That's the end of the first half. Monroe Central 6, Shadyside nothing.
As time passes, your needs change. Woodsfield Savings and Loan has changed to meet those needs. At the Woodsfield Savings Bank, we know your schedule requires a drive-through and night deposit box. You want convenient parking, direct deposit, and automatic payments. At our new location on State Route 78, we want to meet your needs for a home mortgage, car loan, checking, and savings account. Our name and location have changed, but we're still here to serve our community and to help you to grow. The Woodsfield Savings Bank.
Westcourt Hair Fashion's new in name, but the same in advanced high-tech hair care products and services. Westcourt is staffed with 10 highly qualified technicians to serve their clients' different needs. Products sold only in the finest salons include Nexus, Paul Mitchell, Mercado, each with a money-back guarantee. To keep that healthy look all year round, 2 Wolf tanning beds along with the best tanning and skincare products. Call 472-5350 today to get a new you at a new name, Westcourt Hair Fashions.
and gentlemen, let's give Monroe Central band a nice round of applause.
Bellwood Drugs is your locally owned full-service discount price drugstore. Call 472-0417 for 24-hour emergency service. We'll be here for you. Delivery and mail-out services are available. We stock wheelchairs, hospital beds, canes, crutches, and other accessories. Retirees ask Joe or Tom about our hassle-free Aetna prescription service. As a leader chain store, we bring you bargain prices on an assortment of products every month. Don't forget to bring us your photo finishing with 24-hour service. Bellwood Drugs, people you know and people you can trust with your health.
At Respect's Food Market, we're proud of all we do. From our humble beginning in Woodsfield in 1929, we've grown to several stores throughout the Ohio Valley. We strive to combine the same small-town friendliness with the buying power of the chain store to give you, our friends and customers, the best of both worlds. And we take pride in our community, its people, and their accomplishments. We're proud to support all county schools and wish the Monroe Central Seminoles the best of luck. We're proud of all we do at Respect's Food Market, and Seminoles, we're proud of you.
Ready for period number 3, 6-0. Monroe Central leading at the half. Oh, this is earlier, right before the halftime there, we made a comment that the last time River played Woodsfield was in 1973. I believe there was one additional time in the early 80s, maybe 1982 or 3, somewhere in there. One year River played Woodsfield, and then the next year River played Bellsville, and to play both the county schools.
Well, I definitely had forgotten that. Somebody had to remind me of the 70 time. I remember them playing, but I couldn't put a date.
Weddle kick short. Zekas picks it up at about his own 15-yard line. Tries to get outside to the left. He's going to be hit by
Trigg. 75.
75 is Heath Wells. Weddle also followed the ball downfield and was in the area of the play. So Shadyside will have possession to begin the third period at about the 33-yard line. Lewis, I believe, was 5 of 15 passing in the first half, 2 interceptions. You hate to be hanging around with only a 6-0 lead against a team that can score from anywhere on the field.
And they are volatile anytime.
Nice defensive job early. Had a lot of people up tight. Trying to get some pressure on Lewis to drop the throw.
Good
pressure. They pick up the blitz, but now they're going to be hit.
He'll be down.
Denny
like
Knowlton, among others on the play there.
They sent him early, and it worked.
Looks like Demmerling back in the area of the tackle also. But a lot of people up on the line of scrimmage, kind of a gambling type defense. And initially it looked like they may have picked up the added pressure, but then Knowlton and Demmerling able to make the play there. And that's at least 4 or 5 times they've had some good pressure and some good clean hits on the quarterback. And it'll take its toll after a while. You'll start looking over your shoulder to see where people are coming from.
Yeah, start releasing the ball a little earlier.
So that's a loss of
Nothing developed for him. He had nowhere really to go with the ball.
Loss of 5. Lewis drops. He'll try it again. It looks like a screen play. He'll throw it into the ground. And over to the side, there's Shoemaker.
Pressure again.
Shoemaker and Daniel Ludwig over in the area of the screen, and I think Lewis looked over there, saw both of those white jerseys over there, and he just threw the ball into the ground. Incomplete, 3rd down, and call it 15.
Sam Hannis back into the ball game, putting pressure on Lewis.
I don't have a play-by-play sheet, to keep track of things like that, but it's been a long time since Shadyside has had a called running play. A couple of scrambles by Lewis, but a called running play. It's been a while. So 3rd and 15, it probably will not happen here. Bobeck and Grinch are the split backs in the backfield. Lewis drops straight back again. He goes across the middle.
Oh.
The ball may have been deflected by Weddle up front.
May have had a hand on it.
I believe so.
Zekas.
And that's one that Will would like to have back. He's telling himself right now he could have made the play there, but he knocked it a little bit off target. 4th down. Gibbons will go back to punt.
Kramer and Jones get an opportunity here.
They're back at their own 40-yard line. Again, the snaps have not been real good by Shadyside thus far this evening on the punting game. This snap is low, bobbled, and the ball was tipped. The ball was tipped. It gets down to about the 48-yard line. Good pressure there by Boer. And I couldn't tell who the other Seminole was that was back there and had some excellent pressure on, but Gibbons had to rush it. The ball was partially deflected, so there was no roughing the kicker call as we had earlier. So Monroe Central defense holds, get a short
And
punt.
they'll get a good field position here.
They'll be in Shadyside territory at the 48-yard line.
In the third quarter.
So 48-yard line, Shadyside territory for Monroe Central as they start their first possession of period number 3. Jones, right side.
Has a couple. Not much there off of that right side as he falls forward.
Not a lot of big running plays straight ahead here tonight. You know, a big physical line that Shadyside has there. A lot more luck getting outside. Kramer on a couple option plays has got nice yardage. And maybe a yard and a half by Jones on that play. Second down. Backs in the eye once again on a slot formation to the right. Motion by Trigg. Kramer on the option.
Nothing that time.
Again, something I thought maybe would happen, you know, after the big plays there, maybe an adjustment made by Shadyside at halftime, that when Monroe Central comes down, Kramer comes down on the option, I would say somebody tackle him, make him pitch the ball. And that may have been the strategy there. Grinch made the play, dropping Kramer. He may have gotten a half a yard at best to the 46-yard line. You know, third down and 8. And after the nice gains, that's something I'm sure that they're going to make him pitch the ball and see if he can pitch it, and the tailback and others can run the ball with it.
Because he certainly had a good first half.
Here we come again with Kramer with Trigg in motion. The throw and some contact, but no call.
No call. 14. Lewis with contact.
Shoemaker was the intended receiver, and there was some contact there, but the officials back there say incomplete pass, bringing up fourth down. A lot of contact there, but no flag. So Kramer will punt it away to Hurley and Gibbons are deep. They'll be back about their own 10-yard line. And Kramer tried to knock another one down inside the 10 or 15-yard line. It's a high kick. And they'll catch it inside the 10. That's Gibbons. He'll be pulled to the ground.
Looked like that was Boer.
And we'll wait for him to unpile and get up there. But yeah, I believe Jamie Boer had a hold of a jersey and pulled the man Gibbons down after a short return of maybe 5 yards. He may be around the 13 or 14-yard line.
Boer did a really nice job there, fighting off a block and breaking the outside and getting a hand on the jersey of Gibbons.
This field appears to be in really super shape.
Other than much rain as there's been.
But the lines in the middle of the field are getting to be a little bit worn out here and very difficult to see. So we'll say they call it the 14-yard line, where Shadyside will take over for their second possession of the period. Still 6-0 Monroe Central. And here's a reverse play to Gibbons. And he has some running room, and he's still on his feet before finally being pulled down by Ledwig and Nippert. And a nice gain on the first designed running play that we have seen in quite some time by Shadyside. But that's almost first down yardage. They'll give him 9 yards. Now the ball to the 24-yard line, or very near the 24. Second down and about a yard. Now a little bit of little change of pace there by the Tigers.
Be curious to see the play call here with 2nd and 1.
They'll stack it up tight in the middle of that defensive line. Motion back by Gibbons. And 2nd and 1, throw, flag down. Ball is
low,
incomplete. Intended for Gibbons, who is in motion. Nippert, the defender, but a flag of that nature is against the offense. So we'll see what happens here. Decision and illegal motion against Shadyside, and it was just 1 yard for first down. That will be accepted. Second and 6 being deemed better than 3rd and 1. Zeke is in with the play from the Shadyside sideline for that illegal motion penalty. Again, receivers wide, right and left.
The 8-minute mark remaining in the third quarter. Still 6-zip.
A lot of people up tight defensively for Monroe Central. They'll give it on the running play to Bobeck, and not much. He's tackled by a whole host of Seminoles there. Demmerling on the ground there along with Jones. Looks like Ludwig also last man up. And they had some helpers there to hold that play up after a pickup of not more than a couple of yards to about the 21-yard line. Scoreboard calls it 3rd and 3. And it's just...
Now they moved it back just over the 20-yard line.
Makes it real hard to tell. The official drying the ball off and trying to hold it out of this rain as long as he can.
3rd and a long 3.
Lewis drops straight back to throw. He goes downfield and
it's
complete.
caught.
Charlie Gibbons, number 32, the intended receiver, makes the catch in front of Trigg. And that may be one of the nicer pass plays Shadyside has been able to hook up so far this evening. And it will give them a first down out around the 33-yard line. Still in Shadyside territory. The defense has done a good job not allowing Shadyside to put together 2 or 3 consecutive big gains. So we'll see how they do here in this situation. 1st and 10, Shadyside. And the handoff is to fullback
and
Grinch.
Nothing doing.
Nothing. I think Norton or Hannes may have had contact in the backfield.
I think Hannes had him first and Shoemaker brought him down. Good penetration by the defense. A loss of a couple.
Let's call it the 32-yard line. Second down and 12. 3 receivers, Bobeck, Perzanowski, and Gibbons over here to the right. Lewis to throw. He's going to quick out here, and it's deflected off the hands of the intended receiver, Gibbons. Falling harmlessly to the ground. Ludwig was the defender. 3rd and 12. Makes it very dangerous when they flood that one side of the field with 3 or 4 receivers. Puts a lot of pressure on the defensive secondary and their coverage. But again, on a night like this, the ball's a little hard to throw, a little hard to catch.
Yes.
And that's all things that's helpful to the defense.
Has a tendency to sail, which we've seen a couple of this evening.
We get twins receivers both sides of the field with a single back.
3rd and 12.
And Lewis to throw. He's going deep downfield, and the ball's deflected up in the air, incomplete. That was Nippert, the deep safety, number 88, that came up and made the play. And it's incomplete, and I think we have a flag on the play. And again, Shadyside people clapping their hands. And this is a crucial 3rd down play, a personal foul against Monroe Central. And it was something in the line play on the pressure there by the umpire directly behind the defensive line. And I'll be honest with you, I was watching the flight of the ball. I have no idea. It looked like the official may have signaled a blow to the head by one of the defensive linemen. But it is a personal foul and will cost Monroe Central 15 yards and give Shadyside a first down.
Crucial mistake.
And that's a big mistake after you have the offense stopped.
Yes.
And you're going to get the ball back on a punt. I have no idea, again, the call. And, again, we're on the opposite side of the field from the Monroe Central bench, so we couldn't even hear the official, give the explanation to the coaches on the sideline. But it is a first down by Shadyside now as they're out at the 47-yard line, still in their own territory. but they're slowly getting themselves into good position. They'll try to reverse to Gibbons
Gibbons,
again.
32.
And again, this is going to be a decent play, but quickly closes off over there. 3 or 4 yards. I see Hannes. I see
Kramer.
Demmerling along with Shoemaker over there. But about 3 yards right to midfield. And that's twice we have seen a little reverse play to the man coming back around and Gibbons. And just a little change of pace, back to the time you think they're going to throw it every play, then they'll come back with a little running play. Screens and draws are always something you worry about in this situation.
Gibbons, 5'8", 145 pound, a senior.
Defense has loosened up a little bit as Lewis drops the throw. Again, has time. He looks for his man Zekas. Incomplete. And I believe Trigg may have had a hand on it.
Nice job by Rob Trigg.
So 3rd down and 7. As with all this, we've moved to 4:57 remaining in period number 3. So another big 3rd down. Just moments ago, Shadyside was stopped on 3rd down, but the Seminole penalty, and that's been a problem 2 weeks in a row, giving the Tigers added life. Ball right at midfield. Lewis will throw it again, and he'll slip to the ground. He'll be able to get up, and he is down. He is down. A big call right there. But the official come in and marked him down with confidence. Coach Grinch of the Tigers is way out on the field.
Upset.
He's not happy with that at all. But from here, I couldn't tell a lot of people in there. But he went down to catch himself, and the official was right there, and he says he was down. That's a loss. And now another stop.
Another big turnaround there.
As the secondary had great coverage there, and Lewis was in the process of going to run the ball. And how far he would have gotten, it's hard to tell. He would have had decent yardage, that's for sure. But he is down for a loss, and Gibbons will punt.
More importantly, Noel should get this ball back in fairly good position.
And a fair catch at the 30-yard line by Kramer. So the defense has done the job one more time.
4:06, and the Noles will take over.
And boy, some points would be very much
crucial right now.
Very much a needed thing right here. As I mentioned here as we began the period, against a team that can score from anywhere on the field, a 6-point lead, you can just find yourself down 7-6 quicker than you can tell about it. But thus far, the defense has held very, very strong and have not really been threatened, only very, very briefly there late in the second period. So Kramer brings the troops back for his second possession of period number 3 at his own 30-yard line. And running room
nice
on the right side by Jones.
Josh Jones picks up
with the exception
possibly 4.
Yeah, with the exception of Jones's touchdown run that covered some 8 yards, very little running room for Josh thus far tonight. That's one of his better pickups right there, and that's a 5-yard gain to the 35-yard line. Snap back to Kramer.
Kramer
steps away from a couple people and still on his feet near midfield.
Paul Grinch on the stop, I believe. Kramer, nice job sidestepping as Kramer picks up first down plus.
So first down by Kramer as the ball will be put down at around the 48-yard line.
We've still got over 3 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Still 6-0 in favor of the Noles.
Kramer back up under center this time. And Jones once again. And he slithers through a hole on the right side.
Picks up some pretty good yardage.
May have near 5 yards on the play. And anytime you can get that 5-yard pickup on first down. 5, maybe even closer to 6 yards by Jones on the play off that right side.
John Cecil back into the ball game, bringing in plays, number 84.
Second down, 4. Kramer looks to keep again, and he fights for extra yardage. He's going to be a yard or 2 short of the first down. The last couple of plays off that right side, some good yardage. That's Tom Jones and Chris Demmerling on that far side, and also John Shoemaker in a tight formation over there, on that side. Back to the left that time, Kramer chooses to keep the ball, and he gets a yard or 2. Third down and about 2 at the 44-yard line in Shadyside territory. Power eye in the backfield. Give the ball to Jones. He's covering the ball with both hands and has his first down. Grinch and on the play for Shadyside along with Jarrett. But it should be a first down as they stop the clock to take a look at it. And it appears to be. The officials talking to the Shadyside people there. Not sure if he asked.
It was a long time. Yes.
Asking if they wanted to, and you may be asking the defensive captains there, and then saying, "Hey, it's a first down. If you want us to measurement, we will." But it was definitely a first down, as we have moved inside the 1:15 remaining in period number 3. Kramer here takes a snap. He'll keep it to the side. Still trapped, and he's still on his feet near the 35-yard line. And that's just a little trap play there where Kramer takes it, and it's just like you give it to the tailback, to the quarterback, reversing back and giving it to him.
Just follows his blockers.
He just follows the blockers in there, and
quick feed for looks like 7.
It's been very good yardage, and they will put the ball at the 35-yard line. And
they call it second and 3.
And about 30 seconds remaining in the third period. That's Jones. He breaks a tackle in the backfield and is very near the first down.
A play that
they'll stop the clock, and it is a first down. So Jones running with a little more abandon and confidence now.
Yardage here.
And you can see Josh going in there with both hands covering the ball. He had little problems holding on to the ball last week and even early today with a fumble. But he's going in there and covering the ball. And he knows that very many more fumbles probably would lessen his chances of carrying. But some nice yardage in behind that big, strong line. And we have reached the end of period number 3. And we're moving right along here. End of 3. Monroe Central 6, Shadyside nothing.
These days, it seems like everyone is looking for a bargain. You can spend a lot of time shopping for high quality and low prices, even for gasoline. Redhead in Woodsfield has 100% pure gasoline at low, low prices. While you're there, save on car care products, including oil, fluids, additives, and more. Soft drinks are discounted every day at the Redhead. Stock up on your favorite pop and snacks. Even Fido gets a break with Champion dog food at big, big savings. So stop at the Redhead today and save. John and Steve of Weber's Pharmacy were born and raised in our area and care about you and your family. Over the years, they've served our community with after-hours emergency service, quality products, and competitive prices, friendly staff, and that special hometown touch. With that same spirit of hometown pride, John and Steve wish the Monroe Central Seminole teams and coaching staff good luck for a safe and successful season. Remember Weber's Pharmacy for all your health care needs. You're not just a number at Weber's Pharmacy, you're part of the family.
Period number 4 underway. 1st and 10 for Monroe Central at the 32-yard line. Nursing a 6-0 lead. The ball's loose. And Shadyside comes up with it. And just what you do not need. And it looked like number 67, Jared Zekas, may have made the play. And second turnover of the evening by Monroe Central, and just what you do not need when you have a nice drive going, and all of a sudden a little bit of a problem. Looked like there may have been some contact there between Kramer and the running back, and the ball comes out, and Shadyside recovers it on their own 33-yard line. And the pressure back to the defense once again.
The defense. Just what you don't want. Brad Lewis with the ball.
Lewis drops the throw.
Back to throw, yes.
And there's some pressure. He steps up and some running room and more running room. And he runs head on into Kramer, I believe. But that's about a 15, 17-yard pickup. And the pressure from the outside in. And the middle of the field is wide open. And the defensive line looked like doing a nice job driving people back, but
just Lewis thought you were going to sack him.
Lewis steps up, makes a nice run there with some good speed, and Kramer puts a pretty good hit on him.
Yeah, the two quarterbacks butting heads.
But that's a big kid right there in Lewis, and he's back up, no problem. And first down, Shadyside at the 50-yard line. And once just like that, the Tigers in business. They'll give the ball to Grinch. A straight dive, has about 4 yards.
Grinch is a senior, 5'10", 165 pounds. Possibly 4 yards. Looks like they'll mark it on the 46.
But what you don't want is the Shadyside to get a couple plays in a row here where they get a little confidence.
Momentum.
From this point in the field, Lewis capable of throwing the ball in the end zone. And he's under center, and he fakes, looks across the middle, and deflected. Weddle in there. Looked like Hurley was the intended receiver.
Yeah, number 22.
And that's third down and 6.
Good defensive job by Weddle.
Looked like Will may have gotten a hand on that again, and if so, that's at least 3 balls from his linebacker position. He is tipped.
Would have been a great place right here for him to pick one off. The clock at 10:30 remaining in the contest. Knowles nursing a 6-point lead. Zekas and Gibbons.
Some motion by Gibbons. Lewis to throw. He's going across the middle and incomplete. The intended receiver was Zekas. Kramer may have been the closest defender. That's 4th down, and looks like Shadyside has decided to punt. There's still a lot of time left in a 6-point game. You cannot really afford to gamble with 10 minutes and 27 seconds remaining out here at the middle of the field, even though some people on the Shadyside sidelines or in the Shadyside stands seem to be a little bit disappointed in that decision. Gibbons at his own 40-yard line will punt. Snap is low. Gets off a low kick, but he's going to get a nice roll inside the 20, inside the 15. That's going to be down near the 12-yard line. It wasn't very pretty, but it was effective. That's about 34 yards with no return.
And the Knowles will get another chance, but they'll be much deeper in territory than they were before.
The ground game
has swallowed a bullet there. That last pass, Zekas had stepped in front of the defenders. The ball was just a little low. Or Shadyside Tigers could have been in business here.
But the defense, once again, still pitching a shutout.
Yes.
Yeah, but with still better than 10 minutes remaining, this is where you'd like to get a nice time-consuming drive together here, take a lot of time off the clock.
They're having to do the job here late in the game against Lewis and his crew.
A little tiring chasing a quarterback all over the field. Kramer with a fake will keep, tries to get it outside. He has some running room. And Lewis returns the favor. Kramer putting the hit on Lewis a little while ago. Lewis dropping down and taking the legs out from under Kramer, but he's from his own 12 out across the 30. About a 20-yard pickup by Eric Kramer.
Nice job as he bounced that to the outside and picked up good yardage.
That gets the offense out of a hole. 2-0. About 20-yard pickup by Kramer on first down to the 32-yard line. Again, Jones hitting the backfield.
Jones.
That's Grinch, the linebacker, making the play there. That's going to, let's see where they mark it. Loss of about a yard.
After Jones had some nice pickups, loss on that one is Grinch through the line, got a hand on his leg, down. 9 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the contest.
Kramer, he looks to try to keep the ball, steps away from some people, and nowhere to go. Number 32, Gibbons. And then got some help from Grinch, but that's going to be a loss of a couple more yards. Now fake in there, and this time the people didn't fall for the fake. Not much running room for Kramer, loss of a couple. They'll call it third down and 12. Ball back at the 30-yard line. Call it the 31-yard line. Big third down play, having not been in a third and long situation. Shotgun formation, Kramer to throw. He's going deep downfield for Trigg and incomplete. Lewis, the closest defender, and punt. 8:24 remaining as the Seminoles will give up the football on 4th and 12. Both receivers just trying to run straight down the field, and the ball a little bit overthrown. Hurley and Gibbons deep. Kramer, punt formation.
Harry Kramer in punt formation.
Snaps low. Kramer able to pick it up and get the kick away, and it'll hit at the 35 and roll, and they'll try to pick it up and will. That's Hurley. He'll break a couple of tackles, still on his feet before he's finally driven out of bounds. And again, some poor tackling by several people on the Seminoles there has given Shadyside the opportunity to get good field position as they're at their own 49-yard line. The return man had a little trouble picking up the ball, and at least 3 different Seminoles had a shot at him along the sideline, but not able to finish the job before he was finally driven out of bounds at about, let's call it the Shadyside 48-yard line.
And this just the situation you didn't want to get into. Your defense back on the field, 8:09 remaining in the contest, up by 6.
And we're going to need to ask the defense to make the play once again. Lewis to throw.
Pressure.
Some pressure, and this time they finish the job. Give the sack to John Shoemaker, number 44, but give some credit to number 75, freshman Heath Wells.
Putting pressure on that left side.
Wells in at the nose guard. There to give Denny Knowlton a breather and get some fresh legs in there, and he put some pressure on when Lewis stepped up away from Wells. John Shoemaker is there to finish the job. A loss of about 9 yards back to the 39-yard line. Second down and long, let's call it 19.
Wells, 5'11", 204, only a freshman.
And now that he's had a piece of that quarterback, he may be ready to go again.
Hopefully another hard hitter coming up on that freshman rank.
And we've got a whistle. This comes from the back judge, and that's a delay of game penalty. I don't even need to wait and see what the call is from there. When that back judge throws the flag, that's a delay of game. So another 5 yards takes it back to the 34-yard line. Second down and 24. And as the rain coming down maybe a little harder than what it was for most of the third period. Again, a 4-man defensive front. The Shoemaker drops back into a linebacker position. And Lewis to throw. He has time. He's going deep downfield. And ball incomplete. And that's Nippert and Kramer against the intended receiver.
Hurley, number 22,
Hurley.
I believe.
several plays tonight that, great coverage on Nippert has come up, has one interception and a couple other deflections. And third and a long way to go. That's what a sack does for you on first down. It creates a situation where it just completely takes away the running, even though we've not seen much of that. But if there's any question about it, it's not there, and it forces the Tigers to go not only to pass the ball, but to go deep downfield.
We all know where this will go, more than likely, and Brad Lewis will check off again.
And he'll drop the throw. Keeps his fullback there, and this one's up for the air. It's up for grabs, and Kramer will knock the ball down. Intended receiver was Hurley
again, number 22.
But the ball definitely slipped out of Lewis's hands and just kind of fluttered up there. And Kramer, not taking the chance of attempting an interception and maybe missing the play, just knocked it down. Fourth down and 24, and that series didn't take long. There's still 6:59 remaining.
But again, defense dodging a bullet, doing a great job.
But we'll get the ball back.
Need to put a good string together here with the offense, keep the defense off the field for a while, and let...
Gibbons' kick is not very good. It's going to roll out of bounds around the 45-yard line. That's only about a 20-yard kick, and Gibbons had been very fortunate, had several very kind rolls earlier, but that time the ball off the side of his foot.
And the rain is coming down. Much more intensity now back of sheets, and you can see it there in the lights.
But with 6:53 left, Monroe Central once again has the ball. And I'm sure it'll be on the ground and with two hands. Kramer pitch, a little bit of a risky play possibly. Jones will turn it up what could have been a very disastrous play to the line of scrimmage. I don't think there's much of a gain. Mike Parker in on the play for the Tigers.
Clock rolling down to 6:30 in the contest.
Nippert back in, Friday out as they run messenger service with the plays. Second down and 10, that's caught. There's really no gain on that play. He'd really like to keep the ball and not give the Tigers a chance there, but there's a lot of time to take off the clock. Kramer wants to keep it, and Grinch comes through unblocked, gets a hold of Kramer's ankles, and that's it.
Second or third time now that we've seen Grinch through in the backfield. Again, doing a good job getting in, and for a loss. Looks like it's going to be third and 15?
Third and some 15. Those two plays now have went backwards.
.5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the contest, as time seems to have slowed down here at this late juncture.
Snap to Kramer. He may want to throw. Now he's going to run. Keeps his feet. And he'll not get the first down. He'll be about 4 yards short, but 10 yards of very valuable real estate.
Gibbons, I believe, on the stop, number 32. And
as they'll get, Kramer will get about 11 yards on the play to the 48-yard line in Shadyside territory. And that's fourth down and about 3. PA man said third down, but it is fourth down. As Kramer is in punt formation with Gibbons and Hurley going back. Snap is better this time. The kick is away. It's a line drive, and it'll be fielded by Gibbons at his own 10-yard line. Tries to get to the sideline, and he'll be brought down at the 27. Roberts, along with Cecil and Boer, and also looks like Adam Ritchie in on the play. A little better coverage that time than the previous kick. 28-yard line is where Shadyside will take over with 4:31 remaining. And here we go again.
Yeah, the 4:31 may be as important as anything. Defense back on the field, asked to do more again.
This news flash just in. Lewis to throw. And complete. Gibbons. And again, Trigg hanging on for dear life. But just like that,
They're down and striking
completion with some running room on the end of the play. Looks like about 27, 28-yard pickup. Lewis to Gibbons. And now, here come the Tigers once again. You know, at the Monroe Central 45-yard line. Less than 4:20 remaining now as the clock back running after they move the chains. There's a man up over here. And now finally Kramer sees him. And we got a flag down, and I'll explain that in just a moment. And the pass is incomplete. Then number 15 is Ryan Wiley, but the Tigers are going to be called for an illegal formation on that. But the wide receiver, Wiley, came off the sideline and was never in the huddle. And you have to be within a certain distance of the huddle when the ball is ready for play. And that's an illegal substitution penalty against Shadyside. He came off the sideline and was never at the huddle, and that's the reason nobody from the secondary knew he was there. On the far sideline there, Coach Acosta or someone over there saw that and brought it to the attention of both the defensive backs and possibly, well, I'm not sure what the official, there, because the official on this side, he saw it and made the call.
Gibbons back into the ball game, number 32, had that nice catch on the last.
Now we'll see what this, and the penalty, and I'm not sure what the distance is. Since it's declined, I'm guessing it must be a 5-yard penalty. So at this point in time, I think the down is more important than the distance. Or at least that's the decision that Coach Acosta has made, 2nd and 10. Again, Kramer comes out a little bit late here to the wide receiver, and that's Gibbons. Lewis will be back. He'll want to throw. He overthrows and almost intercepted. The ball well over Gibbons' head, and Kramer comes up
there.
and just over his head also.
Just out of his outstretched fingertips. That would have been a big one if he could have come down with that ball.
But that'll bring up 3rd down and 10 as the clock continues to crawl with all these incomplete passes at 3:52. Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining in the second half. 45-yard line. A good point for some nice pressure up here. We see Knowlton has been back in the game now on that defensive front. And some pressure. And Lewis tries to get wide. The ball's loose. The ball's loose. And there's a Seminole on the ball. That's Chris Demmerling with the fumble recovery. But
Just when you thought.
And I'm not real sure. It may have been Knowlton.
I didn't see exactly who made the hit.
Put some pressure on, and I couldn't tell for sure as Lewis stepped away, and the ball was loose, and for an instant, I don't think anyone knew it was there, and Chris Demmerling rolled over and says, I'll take that.
I'll take it.
But now just, field position is a big thing now. As, change of possession, the clock will not start.
Clock now becomes in our favor rather than against us at 3:44.
3:44 remaining.
Need to put together a succession of series here to
a couple of
melt
first
that
downs.
clock down.
A couple first downs for Shadyside to use their timeouts.
Handoff. Nothing.
Will Weddle gets back to the line of scrimmage maybe. But right now, maybe as important as anything is the fact that the clock is running, and now it's stopped. As Shadyside will spend timeout number 1 of the second half. Stopping the clock at 3:33. Still 6-0 Monroe Central.
Before winter stops you in your tracks, stop by Monroe Tire Center, 314 Mill Street. You'll get top quality tires with fast, dependable, and courteous service. We have computerized balancing and 4-wheel alignment specializing in front-end work, including shocks and struts. Our service also includes brake work and free brake inspection. We carry a full line of quality tires and are able to supply most brands you may want. Custom wheels and batteries also available. Whether it's new, used, or retread tires you're looking for, stop in for all your tire needs. For honest, dependable service, call Monroe Tire Center at 472-5188.
Well, Well, Coach, with 3:33 remaining in the contest, 6-0, you can breathe a little easier, but you never can breathe real easy with a team like Shadyside. Lewis not on target that much this evening, but he's always a weapon.
You know, he's always a threat from anywhere on the field, and he can throw the ball 60, 65 yards in the air. You know, right now, field position's the big thing. The ball at the 42-yard line. Shadyside will have a couple timeouts left, but, you know, one first down here and make them use the rest of that.
A big deal, yes. And again, defense doing the job.
Oh, you can't.
Has to step up again, and
you cannot take anything away. You can't take anything away from the defensive unit thus far. But you know, very, very likely their job is not done for the evening. They have a little more work left to do. But now it's the offense. Going to try to take some time off this clock, as Kramer will fake and keep and get outside. He's on his feet. There's a first down and more, and he's over at the sideline and very close. Well, I couldn't tell exactly where the contact came. He must have still been in bounds. There's a good job by a couple of the blockers over there, too. I think they recognize the situation. And then they kind of let up so they would not get called for a clip or a hold. But they were out in front there, and there's the first down. You know, the only negative of that could be the fact that Kramer is forced to go out of bounds. But at this point in time, you know, the first down is the most important
21
thing.
seconds.
And since the play was out of bounds and the clock was already stopped, Coach Acosta will spend a timeout at 3:21. So we're still there, 6-0 Monroe Central.
We want to again say that this coming week we have River at home. That's a TV9 game. Still sponsorships available for anyone out here that would like to have advertising on that game. Give us a call at New Vision, and we'll be glad to set that up for you. That's an exciting time, Coach. We get the TV crew into Woodsfield, and we get kind of crowded and gets kind of crazy, but that'll be a big contest. River coming in.
I'm going to go out on a limb, though, Dale, and I'm going to predict that the last time we saw Channel 9 at our place and stuff, that maybe Friday night will be just a wee bit warmer up on top of that press box.
I hope you're not too far out on a limb.
I sure hope so at this point in time.
Yeah, the last time I shared a platform with Channel 9 crewmen, that it was kind of nippy. I believe that was a St. Clairsville on a tournament game, and it was...
I'm thinking of that game and also the Bellsville game last year. They were also both very, very cold. So Coach Acosta has had a word with the offensive group. Kramer's marked out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. A lot of gambling up front now.
Oh, we've got movement.
And some movement. And Trigg, unfortunately, realized that he was the only guy moving. And when you just come off a timeout, where I'm sure you've talked about, you know, that's type of thing there, and I'm sure that's, you know, not a thing that'll make Coach Acosta very happy at all. You know, another thing that Robbie could do right there, once he moves and realizes he's wrong, just go in motion. Just take a right-hand turn and go in motion. You know, make it look like everybody, will think that he was supposed to do that, and you know, then it would be a legal play. But 1st and 15, and no time off the clock. Kramer, he'll keep. Not much. Zekas among the tacklers there. That's Jim Zekas. Shadyside will spend their second timeout. 3:09. After that Shadyside timeout, 2nd down and 17 for the Seminoles at the 29-yard line. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Kramer, he'll keep. And not much, as he'll be hit by number 67. That's Jared Zekas. And Shadyside will spend their final timeout.
Also Mike Parker on the bottom of that.
3:03 on the clock. After the Shadyside's final timeout, 3:03 remaining, 3rd down and long. Call it 3rd and 17. Well, if you could just piece together a first down with these next two plays, then all you'd have to do is run out the clock. It's 17 yards to get. As Kramer goes back up under center. Some gambling by the defense. They're going to shoot some gaps. And Kramer will keep. They'll try to get outside, and he'll go down. He's still in bounds at the 32-yard line. A loss of another probably 3 or 4 yards. The clock will run, and from this position on the field, you might think about a punt. You know, a punt, just kick it toward the sideline where there's no risk of a return. That's not going to be the case, I don't believe. Looks like Coach will opt to run a play here on this this 4th down and long. Again, the rule change we spoke of in the past, you know, if this play does not net a 1st down, we'll stop the clock until Shadyside snaps the ball, which will benefit them greatly because they won't have to rush. And a delay of game penalty. And that may have been an intentional delay of game penalty. And now you may see the punting situation. And that is a delay of game penalty. And it's a good chance that was taken on purpose. Now Coach will think about, and I think he's going to use a timeout, to make sure he gets things straightened out here, and will decide what they want to do. And Monroe Central will spend a timeout at 2:09. So 6-0 Monroe Central. All of us coaches up here in the press box have made our decision, and Coach Sarcosta has made the same decision. They're going to punt it, and I'd be greatly surprised if this ball is anywhere near a Shadyside return man. Good snap, kicks away. It's going for the side, and there's nobody back. They're just going to let it roll to the end zone. And that's picks up some nice yardage there. Shadyside now taking it to the 20-yard line, and I don't think Shadyside maybe was convinced it was punt. They put everybody up, look at the fake, didn't put anybody back. So we're at 2:06.
2:06.
That kick only took 3 seconds.
Which is still a lot of time.
Only 3 seconds for that punt. And well, nevertheless, 2:06 remaining. Shadyside with 80 yards to go.
And I guess it's kind of poetic justice that the defense be on the field to decide the game. 2:06.
They've done a great job, as I mentioned earlier. Their day's work is not done. Lewis, as he has been to throw, steps up, and it's a kickoff. Just go to the ground, and he does. That's the 3rd interception of the night. I believe that was Rob Trigg, the 3rd Seminole interception. And at 1:57, Shadyside no timeouts.
So again, defense stepping up and doing the job. And
all you have to do now is hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
Yes, as you mentioned, Dale, just very fitting that, a situation there, the defense. And if you were going to give a player of the game award for tonight, I think you'd have to award the whole defensive unit.
Yeah.
Anybody that's been out there, 12 or 13 guys at different times tonight. For Shadyside, maybe they think 12 or 13 guys have been out there at one time. But the 3rd interception, Kramer and Nippert earlier interceptions, that one goes to Trigg. And now very, very...
Look at this hole.
There's Jones in the secondary. Very near a 1st down. And I believe he has the 1st down. And when your defense gambles like that, try to make the play at the line of scrimmage, if you can slide through a hole. And now the clock running very quickly. And points really are not important here. 1:45. But if you can shoot another one through there like that, you'll take them.
Holding on to the ball and keeping control.
We'll see how Coach decides to play it here. Looks like he'll play it straight.
Formation.
Yeah, that ball at the 12-yard line. And Jones again. Still on his feet.
He's on his feet.
He's down near the 5-yard line. And a couple of big holes for Jones. And Coach Sarcosta showing a lot of confidence in Josh there after some fumble problems earlier last week and earlier tonight. Key situation there. Jones with big yardage. And we've now moved down to 1 minute remaining. The ball at the 5-yard line.
And I believe we could get we could get a 1st down. Second and 2.
Kramer again under the center. Some movement, and we finally get a whistle.
Flag on the field.
Should be
36 seconds left. Looked like movement by the defense. Well, again, that flag come from the back judge. So I think that may be a delay of game penalty prior to any movement. Now, because of the delay of game penalty, the clock will not start. There were 36 seconds. You know, snap it once, and by the time they mark the ball ready for play again, you may be inside 25 seconds and be able to get home. Kramer still has the ball. He's going to be tackled over there by Gibbons. The ball was loose, but I believe it was whistled dead, and that's the risk of running another play in that situation right there. So now the time the ball is marked ready for play, we're now inside 20 seconds, and this game is over,
This
Dale.
should be it.
Real quick before we get out of here, you know, as the final seconds run off the clock and the Seminoles start to celebrate a great 6-0 win. On the schedule Monday night is a JV game, Shadyside at Monroe Central. You know, weather conditions could dictate, you know, a change in that schedule. You know,
Whether that game's played or where.
you know, because we know we're real wet field and stuff. I'm sure they won't want to play the game at home. You know, there
before the Channel 9
so we'll see what happens there. But I know they'll want to try to play the game because the JVs did open up with a win this past week. But you know, this is a 6-0 win, and you know, if you would have said coming down here that you know you could score 6 points and win the game against the Shadyside offense, you know, I think you would have very difficult time finding any takers. But
Can't say enough for the defense of the Noles as they stepped up time after time after time and really provided that punch when needed.
some good pressure and 3 interceptions by the secondary, and you know, ball control by the offense. You know, even though just 6 points on the board, they really did dominate the time of possession, and that's a 6-0 win. And you know, some of these youngsters aren't so young anymore. You know, they're 2-0, and now you've got
experience under their belt.
You've got River coming in, which, you know, a game that, you know, some people should be, you know, pretty excited about. River, you know, on Friday night was playing at Tyler, and by Saturday morning when people are watching this, they'll probably know the result of that game. And it'd be nice if both teams were 2-0 coming in there. You know, Coach
That would be great.
Coach Wendland could probably see the dollar figures in front of his eyes, you know, in that case.
And it's important to get a big crowd for the Channel 9 night, Game of the Week night for a Monroe County rivalry. We want to see everybody out there. And then don't forget us on Saturday morning.
That's right, because you see some very happy Seminoles leaving the field on a very wet and soggy night. But, you know, it's not nearly as wet and soggy as it could have been when you leave the field with a win.
That's exactly right. 2-0, a 6-0 victory here at Shadyside. And, Coach, another great job. My camera lady, Joe Palmeretti, my wife, doing a great job. She only missed one play, and that was because we were in the way. And we want to thank everybody for their hospitality. Don't forget Thursday night Coach's Corner with Jay and Lance. And we'll see you next week at Knowles Land in Woodsfield for River. So you don't want to miss it.